Post after post, Donald Trump's Truth Social is being bombarded by his rants right now. Amidst the chaos, Trump has even gone so far as to blame Google for trying to rig the upcoming 2024 presidential election. Yes, that's right. Donald Trump's latest blame game is against the search engine giant Google. This new development came to light after Trump's interview with Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla. More importantly, what really hurts the Trump campaign right now are the new polling results that show Trump is in some real trouble election-wise. New polls from Florida show alarming numbers for Donald Trump, who is at 47%, just 2 points ahead of Kamala Harris, who stands at 45%. Why is this alarming? Well, the 2-point difference falls within the margin of error, so it's uncertain whether Trump is actually leading the race or if he's merely neck and neck with Kamala Harris. More devastating news for the Trump campaign came from Ohio, where Kamala Harris holds a 5-point lead over Trump. To top it all off, the future of Trump's campaign is also looking bleak in North Carolina. The new poll numbers are shattering. And to address the declining number of voters, Donald Trump called an emergency press conference at Bedminster, New Jersey on August 15, 2024. And it doesn't end there. Ever since Kamala Harris ended the presidential race, she's been leading Trump in several key states. Wisconsin is on the list, with Vice President Kamala Harris holding a massive 9-point lead over Trump. In Michigan, she leads by 6 points, and in Pennsylvania, she's 4 points ahead. The new polls, although reflective of public sentiment, also show that Donald Trump's popularity in several swing states is plummeting. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Things are looking grim for former President Donald Trump with these new polling numbers. He has addressed this in his unique way, but before we dive into that, let's take a look at the poll numbers. The numbers are shocking for the Trump campaign, and Donald Trump has decided to address the issue. As always, he made a lot of allegations. On August 15, 2024, Donald Trump wrote a lengthy post on his social media platform, Truth Social, calling the polling numbers fake and claiming that the 2024 polling numbers are far better for him than they ever were in 2016 or 2020. Trump wrote, "We're leading in almost all polls, in some cases leading by a lot, despite the fact that the fake news is pulling out all stops for their radical left San Francisco liberal Kamala Harris. In 2016, we did well and won. In 2020, we got millions of more votes and actually did much better than 2016, but nothing compares to this year, 2024. Enthusiasm is great, and the management team, headed up by Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita, is the best. Many people want to join the campaign for the final push, some from the first 2 campaigns, and we want to get as many as we can get. I'm pleased to announce that Corey Lewandowski, who was very involved in 2016, will be coming on board as a senior advisor. Others, likewise, are joining us. They'll be announced soon. Again, these 82 days will go down as the most important in campaign history, and November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. We are a nation in decline, but we will soon be a great nation again." To emphasize his statements, Trump made another set of allegations against Kamala Harris and Google, accusing them of manipulating headlines and actively spreading fake news about the current situation. Interestingly, Trump kept repeating the same allegations, accusing Google and Kamala Harris of manipulating headlines and creating fake stories. He called it illegal, implying that both Harris and Google are somehow working together against him. It sounds far-fetched, but here's what he said. Kamala Harris's team and Google were caught manipulating headlines and stories, creating fake news. This is not legal. He added several exclamation marks to show his anger and frustration. Trump's posts made such a massive impact that everyone started talking about how ridiculous it sounds for him to blame Google for rigging the elections. For instance, Ben Mycelis from the Midas Touch Network discussed this on his podcast, explaining why these allegations make absolutely no sense. From a non-political point of view, it's completely insane to think that Kamala Harris and Google are somehow conspiring against Trump, making false news, and manipulating headlines to claim she has the lead over him and a better chance of winning. It just doesn't add up. Imagine having a conversation with a friend and they bring up the topic of Google manipulating headlines for Kamala Harris and using AI to show massive crowds at her rallies. Would you believe it? I didn't think so. Ben Mycelis also shared his views on this, and let's just say he wasn't as polite. Yet, Donald Trump continues to call out Kamala Harris for what he perceives as her failures over the past 3.5 years as vice president. In another post, Donald Trump said, "Everywhere Kamala Harris has gone, she's being followed by failure and suffering." As just one example, when she was put in charge of the border czar, it became the worst and most dangerous border anywhere in the world. Sheriff Mike Boudreaux of the California State Sheriff's Association was used in a Kamala Harris ad, but says he supports Trump. Manipulator of everything. But isn't Donald Trump the one blocking a bipartisan border solution? Moreover, border crossings are at an all-time low right now. CBD reported that in July 2024, 56,000 migrant encounters took place between ports of entry. Compare these numbers to June, and you'll see a 32% decrease. The most interesting part is that when Trump was in office, border crossings were higher than this. So it really doesn't make sense for Trump to call out Vice President Kamala Harris for this reason. Moving on to other events from Trump last week, besides his usual rants and baseless allegations against Google, Trump and his endorser, the founder of Tesla, had an interview recently where they discussed various topics. But the most amusing part was when Donald Trump posted about modern technology and mobile phones and somehow changing his voice and making him sound strange. Here's what he said. "My conversation with Elon last night was heard by a record audience and was really something special, as Elon himself is very special, and I thank him for such a strong endorsement. Unfortunately, because of the complexity of modern day equipment and cell phone technology, my voice was, in certain areas, somewhat different and strange. Therefore, we have put out an actual and perfect recording of the conversation." So, Trump expects us to believe in today's digital age, where 5G connectivity and high-speed internet are common, his voice somehow turned different because of technology. It sounds completely made up, but who knows, maybe he did face connectivity issues. Ben Mycelis had an interesting take on this topic as he compared Donald Trump to Daffy Duck. It's good to laugh now and then at Trump's expense, but with the new allegations and the nonsensical posts, it seems like Trump is having a meltdown because of the new poll numbers and how Kamala Harris is taking the lead over him. One thing is for sure, Donald Trump's meltdowns are not ending anytime soon. He is facing multiple felony charges, his sentencing in the Stormy Daniels hush money case is approaching fast, and in the latest news, Judge Merchant has refused to lift the gag order imposed on Trump. This is yet another example of how Donald Trump is losing control as everything around him crumbles. The cherry on top is Kamala Harris's lead over him. Let's see how far this rabbit hole goes. Stay tuned with us because we'll keep you updated with all the latest developments as they happen.